Hey friends! Oh my gosh, we are finally done with our Lulu Mayo House of Wonders strawberry tea page with the little skunks. So the first thing that I did is a lot of research. I wasn't quite sure how to color these little skunks, but anyway, I decided to base it with this very light gray. When it dries, it is super light, and that is Cloud Gray CG01. I then go in and I apologize the footage. I was trying something new. It didn't work. Don't worry, I won't do it again. But I basically go in now with three different cool grays. Let me rephrase. Two different cool grays. So 10065, 10067, that's 70% and 90%. And then I add in a little bit of black, 935. Then for the white sections, I go in with 1059 and 1060, which is, I believe, 10% and 20% gray. And then add in a little bit of the 938, which is the white. And you can see I kind of struggled a little bit on the fur as far as the directionality, but in the end, I think I pull it together. So just a lot of back and forth. I really wanted the black to kind of go into the background as well as into the white area so that it looks like fur. It looks nice and fuzzy. So there we go. I also, on the cheek area, which we'll get to in just a minute, I do add a teeny tiny bit of pink in the cheek area as well as in the nose area. So I'll be adding that in just a second here. Right now, just layering in those very dark grays and blacks, paying attention to the directionality of the fur. Again, I think I finally found my flow in here. It took a minute. And I was a little delayed in adding the pink. Anyway, so just deepening some of those blacks with the black pencil, which is 935. And then for the arms and the legs are not going to be like terribly furry. It's going to be short fur. So I color this kind of standard, with a dark to a very light gradient. And then with my black pencil, I just go in and add little tiny short lines to mimic fur. You'll see that in just a second. Again, I had no idea what I was doing here. First time for everything. So let's get this other little skunk going. I know that gray looks really dark when you put it down, but once it is dry, again, it's pretty light. I probably could have even used that for the white areas of the skunk. But anyway, and then, sorry, going on about the white. So the white, I just layered in some of those really light, cool grays. So just mimicking some fur strokes or hair strokes. And I want to do that first because I want that dark color to go over the top of it. You can see I added the pinks for the nose and the cheeks first. And then something else that I did is I did take my micron pen and I did give both skunks some pretty amazing little eyelashes there. So definitely getting the face better on this one. I think future ones I'll have a little bit of a better idea. You should have seen me staring at my cat, looking at the way that the fur grows out of their faces. Pretty hysterical. I think it's the overlap of the fur that really makes it come alive. So how it overlaps into the background as well as into the white areas of the skunk. It looks like a mess though in this section. And you can see I did change the directionality. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. But again, I think I finally figured it out. Just don't look too closely. So again, coming in here and just shading the arms and the legs. And then I'll add those little first strokes in there. Something to be mindful of when you're coloring black, you don't want it to be solid black. It is still going to have lights and dark areas. So it is important to try to maintain that. All right, now we're going to get into the bottom. Rather than introduce a new color, I decided just to color those stones the same gray colors. So those dark gray colors and the light gray colors to mimic the stone. And then I do go in and just add the lighter of the grays as the grout between the stones. And then of course this little cat had to be gray. This is funny. I have a striped tabby, gray tabby, and I have an orange tabby. So we have my two cats in here. We're just missing my my black and white tuxedo cat. And then for the little orange cat, rather than introduce new colors, I just took colors that I already had and made them work. So 922, 921, 1034, and 939. And then I pull out my Gellyroll and I'm looking for my gold. Of course it's not in there, but I do grab this Moonlight yellow color, pastel yellow. And oh, on the screen it says 403B, that should be P for pastel. So I'm just adding that into all the little strawberry, I guess they're called straws, the little yellow parts that are on the strawberries. So we're just going to add that right over the top with the Gellyroll. And then we will take the metallic gold and add that as the trim of the saucer. Oh, and I did forget the handles, so I'll have to do that on my own. I was so excited to be done with this, my goodness. So I will say in all, it took me about a week. I did not color every day, but anyway, I'm like really, really happy with how this came out. This was a lot of fun using all of my products. I've got Prismacolor pencils, Ohuhu markers, Derwent Inktense pencils, and Gellyroll pencils. So I've got a lot going on here. Thank you.